Hello, hello. I got another batch done. Since I was last here, I did another batch, but it was very similar to the one that I already showed you guys. So I thought, aha, this one's a little different. So I thought I'd come on. It's kind of hot. It's a little, so if you see the little vapors going up to the, ooh, I see it. I hope it doesn't fog up the lens to the camera. All right, so I did another batch just like the one I did before, and those are all outside. So now in this batch, I still kept the butterfly pea stuff in there, but then on this batch, I added a little bit of the cochineal. So it's still all natural. I'm not using any synthetic dyes or any acrylics or anything like that. These are all natural colors still. I really, really try to stay with that always. All right, so let's see what happens. I used some of the plants that we used before, which was, you know, the smoke bush, the two different kinds that I received from the ladies. And so we'll just see what happens. I'll put some of these leaves over here. Hello, ladies. Oh, Kathy's back. Oh, Amanda, you're watching the other one. Yeah. That one was kind of fun. I hadn't used those leaves. So these are the same leaves that I was using on the first one. And the top one here is a manila folder, which, as I've stated, is my absolute favorite. But we'll see. We'll go on from there. Now, excuse me, a little vapory. Now, this gigantum is from my yard. This biggie. So this isn't from the, just not to get confused, because I just got through saying I used the ones from the smoke bush, but I wanted to incorporate different leaves. Let me find a space here. I wanted to incorporate different leaves on the pages, so it just wouldn't be, you know, one humongous page of the same stuff. So I got this from my yard. There we go. The purple is from the cochineal that I put into it. It's a natural color. It comes from a basically it's a dried up dead insect that's grounded. It's a beetle, and only the female gives the color. The male doesn't. Let me move that over there. And these little yellow orangish dots were from some marigolds that over the summer, when they're getting ready to die, I pick them off and I put them in a jar or a bucket, and I use them dry and I sprinkle them in there. So that's what that is. I'm going to try and see what I can do with this. Just a little, oh, I put them over here on the side with these other papers just to soak up the whatever kind of colors or dyes are left on the leaves. Sometimes they leave a print, sometimes they don't. All right, so this paper here is just some kind of, like kids' construction paper. It's the first time I've used this particular paper right here. So that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. See if it works. Sometimes those papers, when they're wet, if you move them too much when they're wet, they just tear apart. So you got to be really gentle. Okay. And this paper is the same construction paper. Well, again, as I mentioned before, the paper has a lot to do with how things print. It's, the weave, the density, if there's any cotton in them, some nicer papers have cotton in them, and that really makes your prints look better too. So it's a little bit of everything. Recipe book. That's my answer to all your questions. Recipe book. Start your recipe book. This is still the construction paper. I think I did 3 of them. Didn't want to do too many in case it didn't print at all. It's printing a little bit, huh? I mean, it's not the best, but it's doing something. Woohoo! Look how orange that came out. All right, I think this paper now is just copy paper. And this is the marigold. You can see there's a lot of pigment in a marigold. Those are just like little pieces of the dried flower. And that green you see, the bluish green right there, is just the part that, the bottom of the actual blossom, that little, the little, what is that part called? The little green part. I know there's a name for it. Can't think of it. Okay, I know there's 2 pieces. At least I thought there was. Maybe not. Yeah, when I know I'm going to be using the purples, I like to put a contrast in there. And I love the orange contrast. Motorcycles. Nice weather. Motorcycles. Okay. And this is kind of hot. Paper. Now see, just to show you how it doesn't always happen the same twice. This little piece of the flower on the other page left a really pretty bluish green color. And this one left absolutely nothing. Why? I have no idea. That's just what happens. Just when you think, ooh, I got a plan, I'm going to get a whole bunch of those and put that somewhere. And then nothing happens. Now, for a lot of people, that's the frustrating part. To me, that's the fun part. So I think it all depends how you look at things, whether you're attracted to a certain form of art because either you're stimulated by what happens or you're frustrated. So, what kind of a person are you? Are you excited or are you turned off by things being unpredictable? Now, this is the leaf. I don't know what this is because I go down to our county courthouse. They have a tree. And every fall I go down there and go grab these leaves. I've gotten those leaves during spring and summer. They don't do anything. And when fall comes, they print green. I don't know why. The leaf itself actually visually doesn't change, so the composition inside must do something in the fall, but it isn't evident when you look at the leaf. It looks the same all year round until it just starts falling down around this time of the year. And I have to time it just right because that tree, for whatever reason, it's full of leaves, and then within a day, there's no leaves on it. So it's like you got to time it just right. And because it's the courthouse, they're always doing the property. So it isn't like I can go there and pick them up off the ground once they fall down, because by the time I get there, the people that do the yard work there, they've already cleaned it all up. So it's like I have to, like, during this time of year, I almost have to go down every day and see, okay, are they falling off? Are they falling off yet? And that's what I did. I had gone to one day and they were still on there. And then I went to go pick up our dog food because across the street from there is a co-op where I get my dog food. And I went to get the dog food and I saw some were starting to fall. And fortunately, it was a Friday afternoon. And so I figured, oh, nobody will be at the courthouse over the weekend. And then we got news that we were going to get a storm on Sunday. So I told my husband, oh, I have to go tomorrow to get my leaves because by Sunday everything will be on the ground. And then on Monday, they're going to clean it all up. So I was in a time crunch. So those are the ones I picked up that one Saturday. The things you have to do to print. The things you gotta do. And you'll find if you get into this that there are not a lot of these leaves that print green. People do chemically things to try to induce a green result when they're working on their fabrics and things like that. Um, so it's like a really big deal if you can achieve get the green out of your leaves. Fortunately, this particular tree, which I do not know what it is, it does it all on its own in the fall. I don't have to do anything. So that's kind of fun. Again, I would only know that if I went back seasonally to check up on, what it looked like. And so if I had given up the first time I tried these in the spring and in the summer, then I would have never known that this is what happens in the fall. So that's where your patience comes in and pretty much a dedication to different plants. When I very first started, um, I had literally a map of the city, and I would go cruising around getting sample leaves, and I would mark down on my little map, with a little pen. I put a little dot there. Okay, I got these leaves here, this date, this time. And then I'd go home and I would print with them. And if they were lousy, I'd put down there, lousy, so that I wouldn't mess with that particular tree anymore during the spring. And then I would go back in the summer and try it again. And then the last time obviously would be in the fall. And that's how I started finding out about different plants in my area. When was the best time to print with them? So it does take some, dedication. If that's your thing, if that's what you want to do, it's very rewarding. If it's not your thing, it's probably very boring. Now, see, when I printed with this earlier, this printed really nice. So all of the tannin that was in this leaf just got sucked out. So there wasn't really anything left to print with that one. Same with this one. This one had printed really pretty. And by the way, once you do this often, you recognize your leaves. You start recognizing them. It's kind of crazy. The purple was done with the Cochineal um, dyeing. Most people that use that it's a natural dye. They do fabric. It's used a lot in fabric dyeing and when they dye like wool and things like that. You're doing your own yarn, but I don't do any of those things. So I decided to try it on my paper, and hello, it worked. That's these right here are the ones that I got at the courtyard. Parking lot, I should say. I buy it from who do I buy it from? What company do I get it from? You guys probably already know the company. Oh. It's known for all its dyes and things like that. I'll think about it. I'll remember. It'll come to me. If you go down to Mexico or South America and you see a lot of the cactus, if you're familiar with the cactuses, is the nopal. And every once in a while, you'll see what appears to be like a fungus. It's white, but it's not really a fungus. It's the bug that likes to live in those cactuses. And when they die, it leaves like a crustacean. And they take a knife or something sharp and take off all that crustacean, the dead bug, and then they grind it up and they make the dye. And that's how a lot of the beautiful purples that are in Mexico and South American fabrics comes from that bug, dead bug. Very cool. We're getting there. I put a lot of papers in this bundle. Because I already knew that those other ones would work. So I wasn't like, oh no, they might be bad. I got myself a little bundle of purple stuff from Renee GT Designs. So I think some of these papers I'm gonna save some and put it in that purple journal. I think it looked pretty cool. Hey, Jennifer. Amanda, if you go, I'll see if I can get the link in a second. I have a video. The second time I made these, so it's just very rudimental. It doesn't have a lot of details of how to do this. And then if you want to get serious about it, I have a workshop in my Etsy shop if you want to get serious. But the one that's in my there in my one of my videos there in my feed, it shows you the real basic where I started, and you can get a lot done based on the information on that video. And basically, I just layer everything like you would a lasagna. Paper, leaves, paper, leaves, paper, leaves, paper, leaves. And oops, needs more paper. Speaking of which. And and then you find something to weigh it down with, and I give you suggestions in the video. And I boil it. Some people steam their papers. I boil my papers. That's why I call them boiled papers. I like the texture more. Just personal. I like the texture more when I boil them. Once they're dry. See, you can't get that color with just any leaf. Isn't that beautiful? And they only have 3 of those trees. If they ever chop those trees down, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. The next time there's gardeners there, I'm going to ask them, do you know what kind of tree that is? And if they do, I'm going to get me one. I'm going to get me one of those trees. Ooh, Jennifer's got a story about that smoke bush. I got a second print out of that one. Not that intense, but the first one was nicer. See, once you expose those green ones, everything else looks kind of boring. I hope my other ones are dry so I can put these out. Well, thank you, ladies. I like doing this. And I've already got some out there ready to go on the pot. I already did all the layering. And if anybody here missed out on my first set of little small fall journals, I put up some new ones yesterday, last night or this morning. I can't remember when. But anyway, last time I looked, it was a while ago. There was only 2 left. So if anybody's interested, there's 2 left. Ah! I just tore that up a little bit. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, so now this is manila folder, which I love the colors that it produces with these leaves. And plus it got boiled a lot more because it was on the bottom. So it had a lot more heat. And it just makes like watercolor. I think it's so pretty. That was just there on the bottom. Sometimes I just put a manila folder in there just to get some crunchiness. All right, so that, oops, keep all this wet stuff together, is that. Oh, I usually do this, over on the table in the other room. But if I did that, then I couldn't show you guys the reveal, right? So now I'm going to have to clean up all this paper here. All right, ladies. Well, it's 5:30 here. I think I'm going to go see if those papers are dry. Then I'm going to put these out there. Still a few hours of a little bit of sunshine out here. And I'll put the other ones in the pot. And we're about to go. Oh, you were asking. Hold on. I have that thing right here. Here is what I used on this. And Jacquard. There you go. That's the company that has all those dyes and natural stuff. And this is the dead bug, all ground up. So just type in Jacquard and you can find the different companies that sell it. I think you can even probably get it on probably through Amazon, actually. So there you go. And you can put as little or as much. I think I put a little too much. I wanted a little paler. But but see, I sell my papers and a lot of the ladies like the bright ones. And then other ones like the more muted ones, like the ones I did before, where I don't put anything like this on there. It's all just natural. But I do like some of the drama that this gives. I mean, look at that. Like how beautiful. How can you not like that? And then, you can incorporate it into a journal or cut it up and make like cards, greeting cards, put it on the cover. I know I've done that. I sold a lot of that. I've never put them in my shop. They've just been by request by, people that know me. Those turn out really pretty. But anyway, there's just so many things you can do with it. So don't be intimidated by it. Oh, let me see if I can. I don't know if I can do this. Let me see if I can get the link Let me see if I don't lose all of you guys. Let me see if I can get the link to my very first one, which was, oh my gosh, how am I going to find that? Because it was a long time ago. I guess I could type in search, right? I don't even know what to do. Let me type in search and see if I type in eco in my I don't even know how to search my own thing. Oh my gosh, that's too funny. Hey, there it is. 3 years ago. Okay, let me get the link.
So the other day,
Whoa,
I
be
posted,
quiet. Quiet, Rosemary. All right. Let me get the link. Copy. Paste. Okay. So any of you that would like to get started with the very basics, there is the video where, now remember, when I made this video, I had only done this like 2 or 3 times. So it's very, very basic. But you really don't need any more information than that unless you want to get serious about this. And if you want to get serious about it, then I have a workshop that we can get serious about it. But if you just want to play around with it and do it a couple of times just for the fun to say you've done it, the video that I put there is enough for you to get started to do something fun. Um, and um, and remember, when you very first start, you may be very, very frustrated because you are not going to get this look. This is 3 years of me experimenting, playing around, figuring out what works, what doesn't work for me, the plants in my area. It takes time to cultivate, to get, you know, something different. So don't be discouraged if you try it and you go, ugh. Because if you look at mine don't have that much color either, my first ones, because I didn't know what I was doing. Even not adding any colors to it, my actual prints themselves did not have that much color, but it was probably because of the time of the year I did it, and all the things I just mentioned before. So like I said, don't be discouraged. If you're really serious about it, don't get discouraged. If you're not serious about it, eh, it's not for you. But you can say you tried it, right? Even if it's not for you. Anyway, all right, ladies, thank you so much for showing up. I'm going to go and put this stuff outside so it can dry. And those of you that join me with the tutorials for the caboodle kits, we will be here tomorrow at 7 Central, and we'll be working some more on that kit. All right, ladies, thank you again so much. Talk to you guys soon.